Just take a look around. It's hurting people everywhere. Hey, what's good? My name's Jae Snow, and this is my LSD. When I was about 5, maybe 6, I was brought to an option, whether I could stay with my pops or I could stay with my mom. I chose to stay with my mom. Either way, we all go through trials and tribulations and everything's the same. But after that divorce and all of that, a lot of things happened to me. I started to develop hatred. I was mad because my dad wasn't there. Just a lot of things started developing mentally and physically. I get so angry sometimes, even in kindergarten, I just started fighting for no reason. I was standing in the lunch line one time, and there was a little girl, probably 6 years old. She didn't do nothing to me. We were standing in the lunch line. It was a column, just a cinder block column. And I pushed it. And when I pushed her, the corner of that cinder block split her head wide open, and she had to go to the hospital. Ambulance came and picked her up. And from there, it seemed to get worse and worse and worse. And by the time I was 10 years old, I started smoking cigarettes. Which, even to this day, I still smoke cigarettes. That's a problem I'm still dealing with, and it's an addiction that's hard to kick. When I was probably, I'd say I was 14 years old, I was in middle school. I got suspended so many times in 1 year, me and a friend of mine, we were collecting pink slips to see who could get the most pink slips from missing school, doing whatever, fighting, cussing the teacher out, this and that. Everybody's got a hard life, and that's why we started LSD. When I was younger, like I said, I was with a single mom. She had boyfriends here, boyfriends there. One boyfriend in particular used to beat up on her a lot. He had a real bad cocaine problem. And he wouldn't pay his bills, wouldn't do what he was supposed to do as a man. And so it would get cold in the house. And in order for us to stay warm, we would have to turn the stove on. We had a gas stove. We turned the gas stove on, opened the lid up, heat the kitchen up, and we would all huddle up on the floor and sleep on the floor by the heater, which it wasn't a heater, it was a stove. There's a lot of stuff happened to a lot of people, and a lot of stuff happens to a lot of good people, along with a lot of bad people. When I was 14, like I said, I was kicked out of school, doing drugs, I was smoking weed. One day I got the bright idea, I got suspended off the bus for 10 days. And I had a little 357 CO2 air pistol. So my brother got dropped off. And while he got dropped off, I took this BB gun, or pellet gun, and I just shot the bus up. Shot it up. Kids on the bus and everything, just didn't care. I shot it up. Turned around, I called the school. I was like, look, there was some kid in the ditch hiding with a BB gun. Straight lied to him. And this was the second week of school. I had already been suspended for 10 days. Second week of school, got suspended off the bus for 10 days. Shot the bus up. That third week, when I went back to school, they expelled me for the rest of the year. And that was really the point in my life when I really just didn't care no more. I really honestly just didn't care what happened to me, what I did to others. I really just didn't care. I spent all my money on drugs. I was partying, I was getting high, I was selling weed, trying to make money, getting cigarettes, I was stealing. I even stole from my own dad one time. he caught me. Nonetheless, he caught me. But I mean, I actually stole from my dad one time. But I've done a lot of things, and all of those things led up to a point where when I finally did learn that I had to keep a job and I had to pay bills, my bills would normally come first, but a lot of times they didn't because it's Friday, I just got paid, I got a pocket full of money, I'm gonna go buy 3 cases of beer, get me a quarter bag of weed, I'm gonna get some pills, and I'm gonna just get messed up all weekend. I ain't worried about the bills. If they evict me, I got 30 days to move out. And that happened 3 or 4 times. And so as I got older, the things I did progressed. I've stolen quite a bit of stuff. That was my forte. I like stealing stuff. I've stole rims. We rode right up in front of somebody's house, knocked on the door, they weren't home, took the rims, threw them in my car, rolled out, sold them. Another time, I actually was working a good job. The job paid good. I was making $600-700 a week, and I got fired. And I had so much hatred towards the guy that fired me that I took the company credit cards, the gas cards, everything. I took everything they gave me, the van, the work truck. But I went to Tractor Supply, I went to Lowe's, I went to Home Depot, and I ran up $5,000 worth of stuff on credit cards. And I took the gas card and I filled up the dope man's gas and traded him gas for drugs. Long story short, that lasted 3 months. After 3 months, the D-Techs come knocking on my door. Put me in handcuffs, go downtown, which wasn't the first time I got locked up. I got locked up 2 or 3 times prior, but this was the most serious. And the detectives tried to charge me with 9 felonies. Which was pretty harsh, but it was the charge, that's what they gave me. And so I paid my lawyer, we postponed it. I think I paid him around $2,000 or $3,000. I took a plea bargain, and I got 6 misdemeanors. And I was supposed to do 18 months in the Department of Corrections. Well, they postponed that and told me I had 4 years of probation. 1 year intense, supervised probation, which meant I had to be home at 6 o'clock. I had to be able to stay home all night, and I couldn't go to work until 6:30 or 7 o'clock in the morning. And he would come by every day, blow the horn, come in the house, check, make sure nothing was going on. He would leave. While he was gone, I was still selling. We were selling like half a pound of weed every other day, and he didn't even know it. I mean, I was on probation and I was still getting my hustle on. But I violated probation, and I violated probation 3 times. And on the 3rd time, I knew I violated because I went out to the strip club. I was supposed to be home at 6. I never went home at 6. I violated. I didn't get home till like 4 in the morning, drunk. I kicked my own door in, punched my windows out, fell through the door, fell through the window, broke my ankle, lied to my probation officer, told her I was in the hospital all night. She let me slide. And the very next day, I was on my way to Missouri. I had met some people online and I was going to Missouri. I was just done. I was going to escape. And so I bought a bus ticket. I had everything planned out. All my bags were packed. As I'm loading the bags up into my car, a truck pulls up. Big truck. Guy hops out, regular clothes, looks just like me and you. He said, Jeremy Jackson here. I was like, yeah, that's me. And it was a U.S. Marshal, a apparently I bought a stolen shotgun and sold it to the pawn shop. And he wanted to charge me on the spot because I was buying and selling stolen goods. But he let me slide, told me if I paid the pawn shop, then it wouldn't be a big deal. So I went to Missouri, I violated probation, I was absconding, and while I was locked up, when you get locked up, it's a life-changing experience because you have no connection to the outside world. And so the only way I could reach my family was if I called them, or they came on Sundays and visited, or if they would write me letters, or that was the only way I had contact. And while I was in there, I met some people, and I did the same thing. I came from the streets, I went to jail, I'm right back in the streets. So I did like 3.5, maybe 4 months. I did a month and a half in county, and then I did the rest of it in the DOC. When I got out, I moved to Michigan. My mom actually lives in Michigan, so that's where I went. Me, my brother, and my fiance, we all went to Michigan. And while we were in Michigan, nothing pretty much changed. Everything was the same. Still hustling, still doing all the things I shouldn't be doing. Stealing, trying to make money. No jobs were available. Doing everything I could just to get by and get high. That was my whole life for the past. I'm 27 years old now, so for about 15 years, that was all I did was get high and get by. And it really didn't work out. I ended up moving back to where I'm at now, which is South Mills, middle of nowhere. If you know where South Mills is at, it's the end of the earth. And I went to my dad's ordination service one time, and he was being ordained as a minister. And I knew the Word of God. I read the Bible while I was in jail. I watched sermons and I listened to stuff, but I mean, it went in one ear and out the other because I was still all about the world. I was trying to get my hustle on. You know, it's all about that fast money. But I went to this ordination service. Same weekend I'll go to the ordination service. God hit me so hard and just convicted me with such conviction that I did a complete 180. Before that, I mean, I've pretty much done it all. I've had to sleep in my car. I've had to sleep on the beach. I mean, you name it, I've pretty much done it. And but I came to Christ and did a complete 180-degree turn. And I'm still working on it. I'm still struggling. I'm still doing things that I probably ought not be doing. And I feel conviction every once in a while. But in comparison to who I was and who I am now, is a completely different person. And that's my LSD.